The restoration of a 99-year-old organ in Helena will be celebrated with a concert at the Ming Opera House in Helena. The organ, installed by George Hutchings and Company of Boston back in 1915, is one of only 3 such Hutchings instruments remaining in the Northwest. The Organ Historical Society said that the organ is of exceptional historical merit. Did anybody know there was an Organ Historical Society?
I would have missed that one on the test. In sports, the Broncos lost Eric Decker to free agency. He got a big contract from the Jets, so they needed to replace that slot, and that guy is going to be Emmanuel Sanders, who apparently was close to a deal with the Chiefs. He says there was no deal, but the Chiefs said, well, we were really close. And the only thing better than getting the free agent year after is getting the free agent year after from one of your division rivals. So Emmanuel Sanders will be that third receiver for Peyton Manning.
Wow. Where'd they get him?
Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. It's too bad they didn't get him from, where did Decker sign?
Jets.
It's too bad they didn't get that from the Jets, because the guy that runs the Jets is Thomas Black. And they could have said, we got a new Sander from Black & Decker.
Oh, wow.
Huh? That'd have been awesome. Little hardware humor for you. Get it, Mark? Black & Decker?
I got it. I'm with you.
Yeah, that was weak. I'm going to rate myself on that. You hear that sucking sound? That was my attempt at humor, folks.
But we're not done. We got more lame stuff coming up. You could walk through any store in town and make fun of that kind of stuff because you look, cans are okay, but bottles aren't.
That's right.
I don't know why.
Well, we can't take a chance of you maybe dropping the bottle and cutting yourself on the glass, but go ahead and drink a big 48-ounce can of Foster's on the way home. That won't hurt you.
See, to me, things have gone south since the Stroh's people quit making beer and quit putting out 15 packs back when I lived in Missoula and was going to school. Not only do you get 3 extra beers, but it's cheaper than the other people's 12 packs. That was a great deal. Now, let's say maybe you've had 1 or 2 too many alcoholic drinks and your stomach's a little upset. Please come to the Crowne Plaza and ride in one of our elevators.
Oh, my gosh. That is just disgusting.
There are some times when you just got to pull up a piece of carpet and cut your losses.
That's right.
Because that smell's not going to go away. And don't give me, there's some commercial running right now where they put a little air freshener in the clip of a taxi and says, you can't even notice, Febreze my butt. It's what, a 4-foot by 4-foot piece of carpet?
Yeah.
Let's replace that.
Pull it out and get rid of it. It smells like fresh vomit in the elevator. We get the same elevator on the way up.
6 elevators, but I need the one that smells really bad, please.
Jeez. Yeah, there's nothing worse than the smell of vomit.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just thick in there.
Yes, it is.
It just hangs in there. Well, it's in the carpet.
Yeah.
The guy, obviously, poor guy, had to probably mop it up or vacuum it up, or I don't know how you would get it off of there and clean it up. And it's one of those things. It makes you sick just thinking about it. Man.
I don't want to go into details, but like you say, it's not something you forget. And I remember a 6th grade bus trip. A kid got sick. And I mean, the way that stands out. And it's just not an aroma that ever gets away from you.
Well, if you have kids, you're going to have throw up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's all there is to it. I've had everything from Happy Meals to pizza in the back of my pickups. And you learn, you carry bags with you and stuff like that. So,
yeah, but if you folks been listening for a long time, I never heard one single story about one of Paul's kids getting sick and throwing up that was half as good as the green vomit from the choking sheep.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That was an all-time classic.
And see, my stomach, I'm so weak. My cat would be throwing up a hairball, and I just have to pick her up and put her outside and close the door because I couldn't listen.
Yeah, you're bad. Jeez.
I don't have the strongest stomach.
No, you don't.
I don't need another person to get sick. If the cat's not feeling well, I'm in. I'll help.
Mark can hardly look at a piece of medium rare meat that's cooked. That's why he has his prime rib blackened. He doesn't want to see any red juice in it. Yeah, that's just, if you have kids, you're going to have messes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Either end.
Yeah. Yeah, yep, part of the process.
Jeez. I was sitting, Jake and I were on.
I don't even want to hear that.
We were on the couch. We were sitting on the couch one time. We were watching basketball or something, and the kids were there. My wife was gone, buncoing or something. Who knows? And John was laying on the couch. And all of a sudden, John got this look on his face. And the kid was probably only about 4 at the time. And I mean, projectile, fire hose, flaming red. I just had my strawberry milk vomit. And I mean, it came out of there with so much force. It's amazing what the human body can do.
Yes, it is.
Mark, it was like a fire hose in there. Never will. Jake still talks about that.
Wow.
Well, let's change that and go into more refreshing smells. Like the first time you ever walked into a French pastry shop or something like that. That's much better to try to imagine right now than the sickest you've ever been.
Yeah, no, same thing. Like when we used to be out on South Billings Boulevard, every so often you could smell them baking the bread out there.
Yeah.
And I remember that because the Eddie's Bakery in Great Falls growing up was downtown. We used to be riding our bikes. You could smell that every afternoon.
Yeah. Well, and your sense of smell is the very first one the body develops when you're a newborn.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Sense of smell. I learned that the other day from the trivia questions in Sam and Louie's Pizza while we were sitting there waiting for our pizza. We were going through all the trivia questions.
Uh-huh.
But just think how vivid the olfactory is. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I can sit here and I can smell a freshly cut alfalfa field. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know exactly what that smells like. You can tell people. Sense of smell is very, very keen sense in people.
Now, see, and Paul's got a sniffer. When Paul says he smells like electrical fires,
yeah.
I listen intently.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Well, and I think part of that, too, is, whatever you were given at the factory for the good parts.
Well, just like the ocean. The ocean has a smell. I mean, it'd be great just to show you how keen that sense is. You could blindfold people and put all of those smells in front of them, whether it's an ocean, a freshly cut alfalfa field, bread, anything. And I'll bet you 95% of the people could identify all of them that have ever experienced that smell before. That's why dogs are such great animals when it comes to teaching them based on smell. They have such a keen ability to recall that smell, and that's how they train them. They base on the dog's ability to recall a smell once they've scented it. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how that works.
That's why I fed Paul's killer dog pizza one time, and after that, I feel sorry for the rest of you trespassers, but that's my dog.
My dog knew what an 82 Berlinetta Camaro smelled like coming down the road.
That's right. Max said, I don't know who I'm killing today, but old Wilson, he's all right.
In New York?
Dirksville and New York. Ooh. He was here at the fair a couple years ago, and I emceed it because nobody else wanted to.
Yeah.
And I'm standing backstage, and there's all these just girl after girl after girl, all these, 21-year-old little girls all dressed up and all getting their picture taken. And the road manager comes over to me and says, hey, you want to get your picture taken? I said, you know what? I think I'm past the point in my broadcast career where I want to wait in line to get my picture taken with some young kid.
New York, that's an experience. If you've never been out of Montana and you go to New York City,
I've heard it's something.
Well, and you can't drive. You have to take cabs everywhere. Getting a cab in New York City is like being in a scene from the Aladdin movie.
With flying carpets?
No,
or what?
everybody is from Baghdad or something like that. They all speak different languages. You cannot get... There's no American cab drivers. What, Mark?
What, Paul?
Go to Madison Square Garden. You can't understand them. You can't, Mark, in a cab in New York City. I'm not being Archie Bunkerish. I'm just saying. They're all foreigners that work in the... And it's funny that they don't have to pass like a test or anything to get a job like that. You would think that they would have to at least speak the language.
Well, you and I have seen in Mexico, you don't have to speak any English to be able to drive a cab.
But that's Mexico.
Yeah.
It's their country.
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with making people speak English in our own country? Is there anything wrong with that?
There shouldn't be, but there's huge opposition to it. Well, and I'm wondering, if that's an entry-level job. I mean, it must not be something that people strive for.
Yeah. I'll pay them in dinar instead of dollars and see how that goes over.
Hey, you got one of them things where the little flute makes the snake come out of the basket?
Yeah, exactly. I'm in a bad mood today. Folks, I got to tell you, I'm in a bad mood.
Paul's not just having a bad couple of days here. This has been, in the words of, or in the era out there at the farm, this has just been a hell of a stretch for you.
I woke up this morning. We had probably 2 to 3 inches of snow this morning. I know we're over 200 for the year. See, you people...
You've gotten quite a bit lately.
You people in Billings, you're close to 100. We're damn near 200. All right?
And that's just for starters.
So, geez. Yeah, 2 to 3 inches of snow this morning out there. Real light, airy type stuff. It almost looks like the kind that you flock a Christmas tree with, that kind of snow. Real. I mean, you could go and blow it off the sidewalk.
Right.
But still, it counts.
Yes,
it counts for the yearly total.
Well, that's how you get to 200. You count everything.
Right, exactly. I left my coffee mug here yesterday. So I had a hot cup on the way in. Mm-hmm. That's tricky when there's 3 inches of snow and the road's so rough you need a tank to get over it.
Oh, that's funny.
I got one heifer left, though. That's good.
The heifers are the first timers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the night check-in's over for them. Had 2 yesterday. I wrapped it up. I got 1 left. She's a ways off yet, too. So
now do you buy more heifers for next year and do it again?
No, I raise my own.
Okay.
I keep my own.
Okay, but then you'll have some heifers again next year.
Yeah.
So ideally, to grow the herd, you have heifers every year that you've bred along the way.
Yeah, because you get rid of the old bats.
Yeah. Well, we all know how that works.
There's a lot of lessons to be learned in raising cattle. The lesson to be learned is that females are very productive.
Yes.
That's the lesson to be learned.
I don't think that's the lesson.
You chauvinist pigs out there, we're all laughing. It's not funny.
That's right.